the Center for Child Development, Mental Health and Policy, or the CCDMP, at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, explores the intersection of developmental and clinical psychology. We also focus on applied work and how protective factors can contribute to build resilience. To explain more, here's our Managing Director, Dr. Rudy Spidell.
Very broadly at the CCDMP, our research focuses on how does kindness develop, how does mental health unfold, and what are those underpinnings of kindness and mental health. So within that, we research, from the very beginning of development, from infancy up through, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescence, and beyond, how are different capacities related to kindness emerging, and what are the factors that promote that development. So in particular, we focus on what we call the 3 E's, so emotion regulation, as well as empathy, so different types of empathy, right? So empathy towards others, how you kind of feel with or relate to others around you, and then empathy towards the self, so how you, think about yourself and reflect upon yourself and how you treat yourself as an individual.
Research conducted by the CCDMP has also supported communities that have experienced various adverse factors. For example, our research team has worked closely with community members who have lived experiences as refugees, displaced from their homes due to war and armed conflicts.
The PIPO project serves as the knowledge mobilization hub for the CCDMP. Our project fosters collaboration among researchers, practitioners, and the community to share learnings and good practices about children's healthy and ethical development. This is accomplished through sustained, mutually beneficial engagement. The project features a biannual child development magazine, the PIPO Gazette, an arts-based curriculum for elementary and middle school age children, and community events. We adopted an arts-based approach to reach a wide and diverse audience. We believe that visual art can be timeless and can transcend language, culture, age, and other potential barriers to communication, making this approach an inclusive and accessible one. In the next clip, our art director, Beiyu Chang, discusses how she employs visual metaphors to create connection and inspire empathy.
To also use some visual metaphor. For example, there was a really beautiful text about a teenager talking about growing up could be also difficult. And so in that illustration, I use a bird as a metaphor that growing up, and it's like beautiful plants growing out of a head. So on the one side, it's visually pleasant, it's nice to watch, but the other side also is actually reminding of the feeling like pulling out, because the plants, actually you cannot see them on the end of the illustration. It's like it's growing out and pulling out. So also this actually kind of simple connection, I hope that they can also recall the emotions and the life experiences that we all know from our daily life. So that's a way how I try to create the connection and also the feeling of identity, that's something that I can also feel with as a reader.
Our interdisciplinary team includes faculty and staff who specialize in child development, mental health, education, and knowledge translation. The PIPO team collaborates and shares resources with international team members and community members over virtual platforms. We work closely with parents, youth, educators, and community partners who hold valuable knowledge of what's currently happening on the ground. This ongoing knowledge exchange has allowed us to disseminate our research findings while also affirming the lived experiences and knowledge from the community.
An example of one of our community collaborations is our partnership with Air Mills Connects, a community collaborative in Mississauga, Ontario. Our team worked closely with Air Mills Connects to organize Beautiful Mind Day events for student mental health ambassadors in elementary and middle school. This included designing and delivering activities and games that promoted emotion regulation strategies and empathy. This initiative has allowed our students to gain valuable practical experience working directly with children and youth in community and school settings alongside educators and practitioners. This experience complements their academic studies and helps to bridge theory and practical application. We'll speak more about Beautiful Mind Day in the next section.
PIPO focuses specifically on promoting what the CCDMP calls the 3 E's of social-emotional development, emotion regulation, empathy for the self, and empathy for others. This includes pro-social skills, such as cooperating, sharing, and helping others, which supports children's academic success, positive behaviors, and overall well-being. Our student volunteers gain experience in project management, magazine production, event planning, and community partnerships. These experiences build the capacity for research to practice and community engagement work. The Pippo Gazette is a biannual publication that allows us to disseminate our research to parents, caregivers, and educators. Magazine articles are written by the CCDMP research team and members. Each issue also includes a piece written by an educator, a caregiver, and a youth in Canada. Children's artwork and reflections are also shared. These are important to include, as we hope that the magazine will provide insight from all angles to create a full, well-rounded picture of child development and mental health as it stands currently. Overall, the magazine has been received positively by our stakeholders. In May 2024, we hosted students, staff, faculty, and our community partners at our first art exhibit on campus. The art exhibit was a celebration of the intersection between art and science, and featured the beautiful illustrations that our art director Bayu Chang created based on our magazine articles. The event included a special tour by the artist, as well as a talk by CCDMP Director Dr. Tina Malti and Bay on the process of our arts-based knowledge translation. Our project team has also developed evidence-based curriculum activities and strategies for elementary and middle school age children to support parents, caregivers, and educators in promoting social-emotional development. In December 2021, we piloted our Wonder Lab workshop with a grade 4 class in Mississauga, Ontario. Earlier, we spoke about our work with Erin Mills Connects, EMC, a community collaborative in Mississauga, Ontario. The goal of their Beautiful Mind Day events is to promote positive mental health and leadership amongst elementary and middle school students. Along with developing activities and games based on Pippo curriculum, we also developed and facilitated the training and mentorship of secondary school student volunteers and created take-home resources for students, including a self-care poster and a kit with all materials and instructions needed to facilitate a school-based kindness campaign. It was through our collaboration with EMC that we deepened our connection to local elementary and secondary schools and community service providers. The Fall 2023 event earned a 90% rating from students out of 123, with many commenting on having fun while learning about emotions and emotion regulation. To support further student experiential learning and training, our managing director supervised an undergraduate student as part of a year-long knowledge translation course at UTM. The student worked with the Pippo team to build on our classroom social-emotional development activities by facilitating a focus group with Ontario teachers and then adapting existing activities and developing her own based on the feedback. She piloted these activities in 3 classrooms, from kindergarten to grade 2, and will continue to work with our knowledge mobilization team to support further resource development based on this project. Through building relationships with the community, including collaborating with educators and artists, we have worked to adapt and develop resources and tools that are accessible, responsive, and relevant to the community. Our priority will be to continue to strengthen community participation, hoping to move towards an integrated model of knowledge mobilization. The Pippo project emphasizes capacity building and the notion that we are all continually learning from one another, allowing us to be more attuned and responsive to community strengths and needs. To find out more about our project, please go to tinamalti.com/Pippo.